Next item on the agenda is 2022-0402, introduced by Commissioner Jesse.
To the Honorable Rick Brewer, Chairman, members of the Hawkins County Board of Commissioners in regular session, met this 11th day of April 2022. Resolution in reference, reduction of $10 in wheel tax. Whereas the current wheel tax of $96 implemented in 2017, the wheel tax has generated the following amounts: 2017, 2018, $1,431,644. 2018, 2019, $2,012,252. 2019, 2020, $1,995,836. 2020, 2021, $2,066,590. Whereas during the same amount of time, the county has accumulated over $8 million in undesignated fund balance. Whereas the citizens of Hawkins County have faithfully for the past 4 years contributed to the accumulation of these funds and deserve some of these rewards. Therefore, be it resolved that the wheel tax on all motor-driven vehicles, including motorcycle, motor-driven bicycles, and scooters in Hawkins County be decreased by the sum of $10. Further, be it resolved that this resolution take effect July 1st, 2022. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Motion by Commissioner Jesse, second by Commissioner Talley. Commissioner Goins, you recognize.
Yes, I would just like to bring forth a couple of things when you're determining whether or not you're going to do this. First of all, I don't know if some of you are aware, but Tennessee residents will get a free ride on the government for a year after the state legislature passed a budget that waives vehicle tag renewal fees. The 2375 state portion of license renewals will come free of charge from July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. That being said, I feel like, one, this is a bad time to bring this up to begin with. It's 2 weeks before an election. Also, we do not know where our fund balance stands. We do not know what our line items are going to look like. We need to wait until the budget committee has their budget hearings and see where we're at. Then at that time, if there's a possibility that we can afford to do this, then do this. But we've also got to remember, fuel costs have went up, electricity has went up, just goods and services in general have went up. I'm afraid to say that we're probably not going to see this to be a good time to do this. I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention, and it's my request that Mr. Jesse pulls this resolution until a later date.
Mr. Housewright, you recognize.
Some of the things that Commissioner Goins said is kind of what it's a bad time. You've not looked at the budget, and I was wondering if anyone has pulled just like what we're going to lose on the personal property tax of the factory that we're going to lose. It was $44,661,447. That equates to $290,438 on the personal property tax that we're going to lose. Let's just call it $300,000. The real property of the land, it's based $4,086,000. We're going to lose $35,400. So that's $325,000, $350,000. If you take the $10 that what Commissioner Jesse's proposing, it could run $550,550. So let's play $350. We're at $9, so we're at $1 million already. And then the other deficits of the taxes, you don't know what it's going to take to balance the budget. Sheriff's Department, all the department heads, we could be looking at $1.5 million, $2 million right off the top. That's what, it's like Commissioner Goins said, it's a terrible time. Tax increases don't just happen. They're caused either by bad decisions or management. So we're the management, and we wouldn't see the repercussions of this right on. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, it's like the property assessor's office got to do a sales ratio. When and if, like Commissioner Goins said, this housing, the inflation, if it busts. And the other thing I'd like to say is, when I come on here, I thought that, we were supposed to vote on facts. And at a time like this, I never went through, but not to get votes at election time. That's all I got to say.
Commissioner Roach.
So, before I get started, I did crunch some numbers on my own, and I will say I'm not an accountant, I don't have a finance background, but I think my general conclusions are pretty accurate. Right now, as it stands, with the same amount of revenue that we have and a similar set of expenditures, our increase in appropriations, being different from expenditures, but our increase in appropriations has been 3.7%, while our revenue in that time has increased 2.2%. We actually appropriate an average of a couple thousand more than our revenue. So what we got to think about is, in the long term, and I think Commissioner Housewright hit it on the head, when we're looking at 4, 5, 6 years down the road, at some point, our expenditures are going to outpace our revenue with the current amount of revenue that we have in place right now. It's going to happen. There's an inflation economy out there. And I said it in the budget committee, and I will say I voted to bring this resolution out of the budget committee because I felt like the taxpayers owed an explanation. I don't support the resolution in the commission, but I supported it coming out of the budget committee because I felt like we needed to discuss it. But if we continue on, it's not going to be very much time before our expenditures are going to outpace our revenue, just as it is. We decrease $550,000 out of our budget, it's going to be the same. If you look at 2020, 2021, have we not received $847,000 in CARES Act money, Mr. Buchanan?
That figure's correct.
We were $35,000 in excess of our expenditures. I want you to think about a $19 million budget. Our revenue that we brought in was $35,000 more than our expenditures. Out of a $19 million budget, y'all, that's razor thin. So, as we move forward, we have grant money, we have these things coming in, but we don't need to plan for gobbling up grant money because it's non-recurring. We have recurring expenses that we have to think about as we appropriate this money. So I'm not in favor of decreasing the wheel tax at $10 by amount of $10 at this time, especially since the state has cut us a break, and the state is decreasing the state wheel tax, state revenue by $26.50 according to Nancy. So I want to say I voted to bring it out of budget because I wanted to bring it here for the commission, but I do not support the resolution as a whole. And with that said, Mr. Chairman, I finished.
Commissioner Talley, was you want to be recognized? Was that on your?
No, I'm not gonna get on the soapbox, so no.
Commissioner DeWitt.
I'm not going to get on a soapbox either. I just want to say that I agree with everybody saying this is the wrong time. The budget committee has not had their hearings. We don't know what the income's going to be. We don't know what the expenses are going to be. This resolution does not say where that $10 comes from out of the entire wheel tax. So I'd like to make a motion that we table this resolution until after the budget hearings and let them tell us whether or not this is possible.
A motion to table is Prudence motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Who seconded that? I'm sorry.
Keith?
Keith seconded. No discussion, every discussion's cut off, so we'll vote on the table motion.
Yes, table, no.
Just a minute. clear to speak.
Are the speakers finished?
Yes.
Let's clear those.
Motion kills the rest of it.
Motion to tables,
All right, let's
non-debate.
ready to vote.
Everyone vote yes. If you vote yes to table, no, not to table.
Yes, 6 no, 1 absent.
Motion's tabled.